The bill relates to false alarms or reports, which will now be treated as felonies. Such offenses had been regarded as Class A misdemeanors. An email sent to Texas State faculty and students says the change was a response to the bomb threats at universities across the state. Texas State sophomore Dominic Reed says he thinks the change is a step in the right direction.
Well, I'm actually happy because it'll actually definitely cut down these threats that are happening, and they'll crack down more and make campuses a lot safer.
Last April, a Houston man was accused of sending 3 separate emails threatening to bomb the admissions office. Reed says the university, in his opinion, didn't respond appropriately to the threat.
Actually, no, I was in class and we still had to go to class, and we were still in class as everything was going on. So I thought that was kind of strange, bomb threat, and I'm in class. They should have took more precaution about it.
Senior Kiko Morlock was also surprised by the calm.
We all were sitting in there and we saw the thing come up on the ticker. It was like, oh, bomb threat. But I mean, it didn't say everybody get up and leave,
Morlock says he believes the harsher punishment could help.
I can see how it would make sense that they want to make the punishment more severe to keep it from happening more often. I guess it's pretty disruptive. Obviously when it get a threat, they're going to have to, slow things down, shut everything down to make sure everybody's safe.
For Bobcat Update, I'm Glen Purvis.
Part of the celebration occurred last night at Evans Auditorium, where the annual Homecoming Talent Show was held. Access wristbands were given out on a first-come, first-served basis. The auditorium filled up quickly, which meant several students were turned away after police officers announced the auditorium was at capacity. More than 700 people attended the SACA-sponsored event, which featured dancers and singers. The group ensemble 3rd Avenue was a big winner of the night.
The United States is entering its second week of a nationwide government shutdown. The shutdown was brought on due to Congress being unable to see eye to eye on where to appropriate funds for the next fiscal year.
Not since 1995 has the government been shut down as a result of political squabbling. Political science associate professor Dr. William DeSoto recalls the circumstances of 18 years ago.
The Republicans are very excited because they'd won a smashing victory in 1994, and so they controlled the Congress, and they confronted President Clinton, who'd been elected in 1993, so they had different budget priorities.
Obamacare, the government-run initiative to have more Americans insured, is at the heart of the budgeting issue. Many Republicans want the program eliminated or defunded, but Democrats in Washington are holding firm. They see Obamacare as the way to lower health care costs and expand access. Public finance professor Dr. Jace Farmer says the shutdown was not necessary.
The Health Care Act is really not a budget issue, but it's an issue that's already into law, so that's something that could have been done outside of the budget process.
Compromise may be the only solution to resolving the stalemate.
Well, it has to be a willingness to compromise. Someone has to back down. It's the old game of chicken. Imagine 2 cars hurtling at each other.
They need to get together and hash this thing out, really. They need to sit down and talk about, compromises.
No one is certain when the shutdown will end, although Dr. Farmer says the duration could resemble the previous shutdown.
The last one was 28 days, so this one might be pushing right up on that time frame.
According to Yahoo News, if Congress doesn't reach an agreement by October 17th, the United States could default on its debts. For Bobcat Update, I'm Zachary Kobe.
Dr. Kim Rossmo is the University Endowed Chair in Criminology and Director of the Center for Geospatial Intelligence and Investigation in the Department of Criminal Justice, but his career began at the Vancouver Police Department.
I thought it was going to be the best way to find out about crime and criminals. I subsequently spent 21 years with the Vancouver Police Department, where while I was working, I also obtained a master's in criminology and then eventually my PhD in criminology.
While studying criminology at Simon Fraser University, Rossmo developed a new method to help catch serial criminals known as Rossmo's Formula. Rossmo has worked numerous cases worldwide, including the D.C. sniper attacks.
That was, probably one of the more dramatic, tense cases I worked because everything was happening very, very quickly.
Rossmo's research also took him to the California Bay Area, where he helped on the film Zodiac.
And what we did was we looked at all the crime sites, we spoke to some of the surviving victims, interviewed some of the original detectives on the case, looked at some of the physical evidence, and read numerous reports for the crimes.
As director of the Center for Geospatial Intelligence and Investigation, Rosmo has overseen numerous projects, including work for the U.S. military. The GII has an upcoming project that begins in January.
What we're going to do is interview property offenders and show them various vignettes, situations where their efforts to try to commit a crime get blocked for one reason or another. And we're going to see what they decide to do under those circumstances.
Despite such a variety of work, sometimes all Rosmo needs is a good challenge.
Trying to be analytical and methodical, and in the end, either determine something you didn't know before from on the research side, but maybe uncover the solution to a crime series or a murder or rape, from the police investigation side.
For Bobcat Update, I'm Glen Purvis.